Alright, so it's Mood Monday, and today I'm going to address emotional currency, because we all know about actual currency, money. We all know what that is. And we all know the saying that time is money, because you could be making money in the time that you spend doing other things. But we don't often talk about emotional and intellectual currency, because every interaction that you are having is either adding or subtracting from you. And that takes something, which is currency. You pay for things with currencies. So before placing yourself in situations, ask yourself, how much am I going to be exporting outside of financials? And ask yourself if it's worth it. Sometimes it is more than worth it for you to export your currency into somebody or something else, because you never know what the return is going to be. And sometimes the return isn't even for you to personally benefit from. But if you can 10x somebody else's output without it costing you financially, I think that's a blessing to be able to do so. But at the same time, in some situations, you might be exporting emotional currency into things and situations that aren't even going to feed back into you 10% of what you gave, and isn't going to gain any fruit from what you're saying. As a consumer, they say be aware of how you're spending your money. As a being who has so much time and energy to expend, I say be aware of how you're dispensing your emotional currency, because the last thing you need is to be drained emotionally and never fed back into, and have to go and recharge yourself all the time. It's possible to do, but is that what I'd rather take my time to decide that the situations that I'm expending my currency in, I'd like to believe that the situations I'm expending my currency and time into are going to allow for a bigger harvest of fruit, even if it's not necessarily my personal harvest. If I can see the fruit come from it, I'm all for it. But if I place myself in a situation where I'm unable to see the fruit being had and unable to receive anything, that's just depletion for no reason. That's not what we're here for. We've been placed on this earth to go forth and be fruitful. That means to success. So everything that I do has to have the mark of excellence and success. Of excellence and success on it. I ask that you spend the time to decide that the things you're giving your time to are also feeding you, because not everything and everybody is going to make sure you're being fed. So if you're not making sure you're being fed, you could be starving out here, and you might not even realize you're starving, because you still have enough to put out, and you keep putting out, but you're not getting put back into. So eventually you won't be hungry. And if the ones around you aren't able to see that, they're just going to keep taking stock where you decide. Overlook your emotional currency the same way you review your finances. Do not go and volunteer to pay $1,000 worth of your emotional currency when you really only have $500 to even spend. Why place yourself in today? You know you're tired. You know that you need to sit down. Somebody else needs X, Y, and Z, and you barely have the energy to meet yourself where you need to be, but you're going to promise them to do everything that they asked for and more. You got this much to give. You just gave this much. That puts you at a deficit down to here. And now you have to go sit back and replenish just to get back to where you were. And now you have to go do the stuff for yourself again. Don't overextend. If someone is not willing to meet you where you are to help boost you back up to 100%, but expects 100%, that's bad math. And I'm gonna have to subtract you from my life, unfortunately. I'm tired. And once I'm tired, there's nobody else here to fuel this shit. So I'm gonna go spend my time collecting fuel for my ship and keep it fueled, as opposed to expending fuel on your ship that's not even left yet, and expect you to sail back to me and plug me. Not work. No hard feelings. I love you. Oh, how are you spending your emotional currency, and who are you spending it on, and what are you spending it with? Are you out here buying Taco Bell for $1,000 of your emotional currency, still hungry and tired, when you could have spent $200 on some peace and solitude and gained $800 of investment back on emotion? Larger emotional currency.